people are looking for the magic bullet all the time. So we really need to go back and retrain people about these things, building things. Taking your time is not a bad thing. It happens in dating. I mean, people meet somebody and, the next day they're with a U-Haul in front of their house. This is like, what do you mean? You
Okay.
don't know this person,
Exactly.
Sometimes
I'm
I get
moving in. We are now at part 2 on Two Guys, I'm Just Saying, and please make sure that you subscribe, you like, and hit that bell
Yes.
so every time a new episode goes up on Tuesday morning at 9, we have a fresh episode that you can watch. We have part 2 of Dr. Laviena.
Yes.
I like that little roll. Is that good? Anyway, it's always so good to have you. We had part 1 a few shows ago. We wanted to invite you back. There's something that's shocking that's happening, and it's shocking on one side, and people are loving it on the other side, is this Ozempic addiction that, as I look at people who have been on it, they actually look scary.
Yeah.
My question to you is, where are we going as a society that once somebody sees that it works, they don't look into what's the negative side about doing something like that?
Right.
Because we're an addictive society.
And we certainly are. Unfortunately, we have been bombarded for years with that whole thing about immediacy. Everything has to be, magic cure. You want the magic pill. Nobody wants to follow the treatment. I mean, people go to therapy. I remember when I was in the hospital, it was interesting. We work with people with trauma, and, they did the surgery and then they had to go and do the therapy because that was part of getting well. Well, the surgery could be the biggest success, but you know what? 1 week or 2 weeks into the therapy, they dropped out of therapy. They started doing, their own thing. There was this feeling of things need to be here and now immediately.
Instant. Yeah.
Yes. We even talked about those New Year resolutions. And it's interesting because I always look at the studies. They always make a study like at the beginning of the year, and every year the duration of the plans
Resolution?
they had is shorter and shorter. It used to be, it would last. I'm going to go to the gym or something. It would last a month. Now it's like a week,
It's true.
Yeah, it is.
True.
It is. And it's so funny. It's like even, people, a lot of the gyms that I have friends who are, physical trainers and they talk about things. Well, they have to do contracts now, like weekly contracts, because, nobody wants to commit for a month. Nobody wants to commit for 6 months. So what happens is in their brain, I don't know, there is this sense of it has to be now, it has to be done now, it has to be fast. The results have to be fast. If it doesn't work in 2 days, hey, I'm out of this boat.
But we're in a situation here with this Ozempic that, if you've looked at pictures of people who have been on it for a while, it's you can see it. Everything is drawn. It's almost they're getting skeleton looking.
Yes.
And it actually, in my opinion, I don't find it attractive.
Right.
Or if it does work, maybe, I don't know what would you do it for a little while but it just seems that they're not even checking it out. It's like, oh, she did it and it works. Let me do it. And they're not checking it out as to, okay, what is this and what am I putting in my body?
And how, you know what, you hit like a big problem that people have. We have lost a sense of even the idea of benchmarks. We all think about goals, which is the goal. I want to lose 25 pounds, but
Mhm.
people forget that in order to get to 25 pounds, losing 25 pounds, you have to lose the first pound, and you have to lose the first 5, and then you have to lose 10. So there is a checkpoint at every one of these, and people have forgotten about those checkpoints. So it's about, you are here and you want to get over here. Forget about the steps in the middle. So when you lose that,
Yeah.
you lose a sense of the sense of reality. B, you lose the sense of control. You think that you have no control over things. So that lack of control leads to that anxiety that you continue doing it. So people might reach their goal. Let's say they want to lose 20 pounds. They get to 20 pounds, but they continue. You see them. That's why you get these people who look sickly, because they don't even look
Yeah.
thin. They look
Yeah.
sick,
Mhm.
and in a way, they are sick because they are pushing their bodies to in extreme ways and in artificial ways that your body is responding. Your body is saying, help, this is not what I want, this is not what I need, and it's very important that we begin to kind of re-educate people in terms of that thing that you have, that waiting is not a bad thing. Taking your time is not a bad thing. It happens in dating. I mean, people meet somebody and, the next day they're with a U-Haul in front of their house. This is like, what do you mean? We
Okay.
don't know this person,
Exactly.
Sometimes
I'm
I get,
moving in.
yes. Yeah. Sometimes I get people in therapy. They go like, oh, well, I discovered this, from this person. I've been living with him 3 months. And my next question is, well, how long have you known him? 3 months. So what does this mean, that you met him and you move in together? It's like, wait a minute. You wait. You need to wait. You need to observe. You need to make determinations. You need to see how things happen in different instances. How does this person react if you want to know this person? But people are looking for the magic bullet all the time. So we really need to go back and retrain people about these things, building things. They have
Are we
steps.
are we having problems with people's mental health at the same time, Doc? I read an article this past week where people that are on Ozempic, it says actually, and this was the title of the article, lose the weight, lose the marriage. And a lot of people that are losing the weight are, I don't know if they're getting overconfident or they're just forgetting,
The
their
basics.
past, but they're opting to end their relationships.
Sure.
Why is this going hand in hand right now?
When you don't observe and you don't follow steps, you get misguided. So a lot of people, and I've read some of these things, a lot of people, when they lose the weight, they feel that they didn't lose the weight before because of their partner. Oh, because she cooks too much. Oh, because she tries to feed me. These type of like ludicrous excuses. You say like, well, that is that. Where does that come from? That's the first thing. The second thing, they begin to get a false sense of self. They think, oh, now I am this other person. Therefore, this person was a partner of the person that I left behind. So I need to establish a new persona with a new partner, with a new life. And unfortunately, as fast as the Ozempic makes you lose weight, that's as fast as you get into relationships and as fast as you get out of relationships, because then you see that the relationships don't last. And why they don't last? Because you don't know this person. So it's really important that people begin that sense of timing, that sense of good things take time. I always tell people, would you move into a house that was built in 3 days? My answer is no, because you're going to close the door and it's going to fall apart. You need that sense of having ownership of these steps. I lost 5 pounds. I lost 10 pounds. I lost 15 pounds. And this is what I do. And this is the changes in my life need to be in accordance to that. It's not a magical thing that's going to happen. I'm going to be, 30 pounds lighter, and suddenly I'm going to be James Bond. That's not going to, it's not me, it's not me. So,
You mentioned something before, and you're right on the money with it. That I call it the fast food drive-through experience. I want number 3, and I want it right now.
yeah. Yes.
And I think, and when you said you got to take your time with stuff, I think that we're in a part of society now where everything that's coming at you is, you could do it right now. You could do it right now. So psychologically, my question for you is, are people totally bypassing what am I putting in my body for the fact of, if I do this, I'm going to get to my goal much faster. Don't worry about what you're putting in your body.
Right. Yep, you're absolutely right. There is no consciousness or sense. It's like, I'm going to do this because this is going to get me to that image, because it's about image. It's about that image. It's not even about goal. When you think about, people's goals, they always measured it in terms of pounds. It's like, I want to lose 30 pounds or what. There's never a question is, what's going to happen with you if you're 30 pounds lighter? Are you going to be as healthy? How are you going to get there? Is health important for you? I mean, you could lose 30 pounds. I could cut a piece of you and you're 30 pounds lighter. But is that a good thing? No, it's not, So people really need to rethink about the steps and everything that goes into this. Every time that you think about something, people think about the shortcut and the pieces. And you know what? When you build too many things with shortcuts, they're damned to fall apart. That's what it is. I was talking to somebody the other day about some of these new singers that come from these competitions, which is great. I mean, it's great that they have these competitions and people have this show to be there. But one of the things that he was saying is that, look at the life expectancy of the careers of these people. They last a wink. And, one of the things that we were saying is that, well, it took a wink for them to get there. It will take a wink for them to disappear.
Correct.
You get like all these people that, in the olden days, people had to, play in bars, play in corners, play in the subway.
Yep.
And that sort of like developed like that persona, that sense of value of each and every one of your moments, valuing your audience, valuing the people you work with. Those things are lost if you get things in 5 minutes, because you don't know. And that's why, you go up and you go down as fast as you went up. So
in your professional opinion, do you think it's ever has a chance of going back to, I equate it with baseball. There's single A, double A, triple A, and then the majors. And the reason it's set up that way is you learn at every level you go to when you get to the big show. But do you feel as a society with the Ozempic addiction going on that it is going to go back to a healthier way?
I see little beams here and there of people. A lot of young people are sort of questioning, and I think questioning is the very first step for things. I don't know. Hopefully the questioning will lead to action and it will lead to change. But I hear, young kids who actually question these whole things. Is like, well, this is really crazy. I remember how dad and some of the conversation, I remember how dad and mom dealt with this and this drove them crazy, or this didn't make them happy. I'm going to take some time. Hopefully that conversation begins to spread, and hopefully it takes root and it creates societal change, because we really, as a society, we really need to kind of focus on these things, on the roots and the steps of things, and what are the things that we need, that we really need in life, and what are the things that we can sustain, and what are the things that we need to do.
Doc, the people that are going through this process, obviously they're, and you said a key word, false sense of security. Is this affecting the rest of their lifestyle and their way of thinking? Just because I lost, I don't know, 20, 30 pounds, and now I believe I'm a whole new person. Is this affecting the other stuff that they're in their daily lifestyle that it might change or affect them in the long run?
Sure. It definitely loses their sense of perspective. That's number one, because they don't get the full scope. It's almost it disappears from their head that I was here and I got here. How did I got here? What were the steps? What are the steps that I need to keep in order to maintain this? This is why it becomes addictive. I was talking about how people look, gawky and too skinny and sick.
Yeah.
And stuff
They
like
look like
that.
bobbleheads, Doc. You could
Yeah.
say it. They look like
Yeah,
bobbleheads.
they do.
They really do.
Yeah, but you know why? Because they don't have a sense of reality. And I arrived. There's never a sense of arrival when you don't know the path. This is why they keep on shooting on with the medication. This is why whatever happens, they think they're always in the way. They're always in the way. This never, or it will go away if you take this away. And in reality, it's wider than that. And that then becomes to affect the way that they relate to people, because they even begin to challenge their group of people around them. Their focus. Remember, we're talking about putting in your body chemicals that are going to alter the way your brain sees food. Okay? The food is one thing that your brain sees in order for you to ingest. What tells me that it's not affecting the way you see people, that way you see, seeing is seeing. So perception, once perception gets altered, other things get altered. And this is why they begin to have problems in their relationships. They begin to have problems at work. They become this other personality, because that whole perception thing is altered. Remember, your brain is something that you really need to take care of. And your brain is like a ship. It has a captain, and it has, people who are on the sides and who manage different pieces. And this department takes care of this, and this department.
A lot of these ships are just full of passengers, Doc, is
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
yeah. And some are empty. Some are empty too.
Or everybody wants to be a captain, and nobody wants to be a private.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well,
yeah,
imagine
yeah.
if you begin to alter these things, the product is going to be altered. So, what is going to happen if everything that produces, everything that you do, everything that you're focused on is something that is altered from the reality? We're going to have a pretty sad picture if we don't change these ways.
Yeah, yeah. So, Doc, how can our audience get a hold of you for sessions and to talk to you about their life?
Sure. There are two ways you could contact me. My email is dr.laviena, LAVIENA @gmail.com, or you could contact me at 212-252-0396, 212-252-0396.
And you can always catch him here on with us.
Or here.
Yeah. And you're based out of New York, but do you do Zoom calls as well for people that are around the country or even in another country?
Yes, I do. So there's a capacity of doing that, and we could do, teletherapy, so we call it.
Great. Doc, you're always welcome back on the show.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to talk with you, and please come back soon.
Definitely. Thank you for inviting me. And this made my day.
Thank
Love
you.
to talk to you guys.
We'll see you soon.